Hello, my name is Ian Wright. I'm a certified senior client technical specialist with the IBM Corporation System Storage. And today we will be discussing the IBM Storwize V7000 and how it handles volume management. Creating volumes in an IBM Storwize V7000 environment is a simple and intuitive process which can be handled in different ways to support your individual application needs. The first step in creating a volume is going to be creating managed disks, more commonly known as M-disks, within a storage pool. In order to do this, we simply mouse over the physical storage menu and click on Internal. This brings us to a list of all of the internal SAS drives within the system's environment. It also tells us what their status is, which enclosure we can find them in, and which drive slot within that enclosure. Finally, it tells us what, if any, M-disk they are assigned to. If needed, we can also filter this view by the individual drive type. At this point, we'll click the Configure Storage button. You can see that this gives us the number of drives found and their type. It also gives us a recommended configuration, which is to create a basic RAID 5. The recommended configuration would create 2 RAID 5 arrays, one using 8 drives and the other 7, with no hot spares and 0 unconfigured drives. We can also select a different configuration, in which case we have the option of creating RAID 5, 6, 10, or 0. We can then also choose the number of drives to include. And if we want, we could expand an existing pool or create one or more new pools. In this case, we'll create a new pool called Demo Pool. Looking at the list, we see that we now have 8 drives that have been assigned to M-disk 14. Going to Pools, we see that Demo Pool includes M-disk 14 as a 1.9 terabyte array. Now that we've formed our storage pool with the selected M-disk, we are ready to create volumes. Mousing over the Volumes menu and clicking on All Volumes brings us to a list of all of the volumes being managed by the IBM Storwize V7000. If we want, we could also choose to filter the volumes to be sorted by pool or by the host that they are mapped to. At this point, we're going to click New Volume, which brings us to a window that gives us 4 different options. When creating a volume, we can create it as generic, in which case the capacity that we present in the volume is physically allocated to the volume. What I mean is that if we create a 20 gigabyte generic volume, there are 20 physical gigabytes of storage on the back end. Alternatively, we can create a thin provisioned volume. This means that we allocate some amount less actual capacity than the volume appears to be. For example, if an end user frequently requests 20 gigabyte volumes, but on investigation is only actually using 5 gigabytes, we can choose to create a thin volume that appears to be 20 gigabytes, while presenting some amount of physical storage less than that. This can be a great alternative to constantly buying more drives by instead better managing the storage consumed. Finally, we have the option of creating a mirror either using a generic volume or a thin provision volume. Using this option, a single volume always writes out its data to 2 storage pools. In doing so, an outage on one of the hosting enclosures or disk systems will not affect the availability of the volume being presented to the host. This can be a great tool for maintaining high availability for mission-critical applications. In this case, we're going to create a thin provision volume within demo pool. This will be demo volume with a size of 20 gigabytes. If we had an application that required multiple volumes and we wanted to maintain the same prefix of name, we could hit the plus sign and it will create additional volumes sequencing numbers behind it. We can also see that in this thin provision volume, we're creating 20 gigabytes of virtual capacity, but only backing it with 409 megabytes of real capacity, with 1.9 terabytes free. The Storwize V7000 will also expand automatically if the space consumed starts to become too small. This can be, again, a great tool for helping to manage the storage environment. And we will create the volume. Sorting by pool, and looking at demo pool, we see that we have demo volume. It is online and has a capacity of 20 gigabytes. It also has this logo next to it, which indicates that it is thinly provisioned. Once created, we can do many things to these volumes. We can map to a host, which will allow the operating system to find the volume. We can choose to rename it. We can choose to shrink the volume, expand it, or migrate it to another pool. And that is the basics of volume management in the IBM Storwize V7000. For further information, please follow the URL listed on this page, or contact your IBM sales specialist or business partner, and they will be happy to assist you. Thank you very much for your time, and a note of special thanks to the Advanced Technical Skills Group within IBM, specifically Gonzalo Fuentes, Dominic Pruitt, and Bill Wiegand for making the IBM Storwize V7000 available for these videos. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.